I'm a voice actor for the last 15, 20 years. I've been doing voices for Family Guy and American Dad. And everybody always asks me, what voice do you do? And of course, Lois.
Hey, Dad.
It's a lot of fun. Like, the majority of what I do is I do a lot of the background voices. So when they're done with the episodes, I go in and finish out a lot of sort of sound effects. Like, so if Stewie gets kicked in the balls and then like hits the wall, I'll do like the two-part. Or like Peter falling down the stairs, you go like. Or like Quagmire, like I did the one where the fan, he had to make sure he didn't get aroused. So there was a ceiling fan. And so he would think of Renee Zellweger to make sure that he didn't get aroused. And so I had to do the pants in between with, oh no, all right. It's a great job. I've been very lucky to have it. And it's like made me think, like, especially with all the war and all the stupid shit we have going on in the world, like, isn't it about time we stopped having politicians, like actual human beings do politics and just have cartoon characters do it? Right? Like, how awesome would it be to see Peter Griffin, like, at the debates? Maybe on the Cartoon Network, be brought to you by Cheerios. It'd be awesome. He'd stand up there and be like, yeah. I first want to say, I'm going to succeed from the Union. I'm going to make Roadhouse the best picture every year. And I'm going to make Lois Queen of the Universe. Shut up, man. And then I think you get like Homer Simpson to run against him, Because he's just kind of like the dumber candidate, kind of like, he's a little more sort of Biden-y, kind of like, oh, Marge, I forgot my speech.
It's written on your arm, homie.
Oh, yeah. Vote Griffin. Vote Simpson. And I think we'd probably vote for Homer, but I think the guy who we would really want is Pinky from Pinky and the Brain. Right? The first thing I'll do is I'll take over the Sunshine State. Then just stick it where the moonshine don't stay. And then I'll take over the world. Just stick it where the sun don't shine state. Isn't that right, Frankie? I think that's the guy we would vote for, and he would lead us down an awful, awful road. And I think we deserve it, really, at this point, because that's who we are. It's awesome. Like, I grew up in Chicago. I was really lucky. I grew up in a Jewish house. It was circumcised. And it's a weird thing. I was really lucky. I have really, really great parents. I grew up in a really wonderful home. My parents say things to me all the time, like, why can't you be more like your sister? She's dead. So I'm just joking. My parents don't say that. I mean, my sister is gone, but my parents are with me. And I usually say, like, I lost my sister. But that's kind of insincere. It kind of seems like I was sort of, like, forgetful in high school. Like, she's gonna knock on my door one day, like, oh, God, oh, that's right. It's like I said maybe by the Orange Julius. Like, oh my God, it's been 30 years. Like, Mom and Dad are gonna be so happy. They're divorced, But my dad's awesome. I absolutely love my dad. My dad's a great guy. He's one of those guys who has sayings, he loves sayings, but he always gets them wrong. Like when I was growing up, he'd be like, I love my kids. I think you should always put your kids up there. In fact, I always put my kids on a pedophile. Like, whoa, Dad, you mean pedestal. He's like, shut up and sit on your uncle's lap. But, good guy, like, it was weird though. I always felt like he wanted to be, like, disappointed in me. And the fact that I never disappointed him has come as a great disappointment to him. So, it's been really wonderfully circular. My mom's amazing. Like, she's still just beautiful. Like, still young and has that spirit and energy. And like, whenever we go out, like, people are always like, "Oh my God, are you boyfriend, girlfriend?" And she's like, "It's because I've retained my youthful spirit." I'm like, no, it's because we're making out. Just joking. We don't do that in public anymore. But hard to believe. I know I'm single. I use that term just joking a lot, because as a comedian it gets you out of like a lot of things, but it didn't work with my last girlfriend. She walked in on me cheating on her, and I was like, just joking, you know? But she doesn't get physical comedy, so. Like I said, I grew up in a Jewish home, and when you grew up Jewish, you hear words like Hitler all the time. You know, my boss, he's like Hitler. Your Uncle Bob, he's like Hitler. You know, and I was always like, as a kid, when you hear that really young, as a kid, you can't really conceptualize like who or what Hitler is, so I could only see him as a 5-year-old. And I was like, oh, he must not have had birthday parties. Like, that's what would make somebody awful and evil, right? Because I could see him like, in the middle of class, like when he was in kindergarten, the teacher would be like,
Okay, class, before we break for recess, does anybody have anything they'd like to add to the class? Yes, give me Adolf Hitler.
you know, you march to the front.
Yes, class, on Saturday the 20th, I'm going to be having a birthday party at my house, and, we will have cake! We'll have white German chocolate cake! And we'll play games! We'll play on fireworks and capture the flags! And we're gonna have a lot of fun, everybody! And, you will bring me a football, you will bring me a baseball, and you will bring me the hearts and minds of the preschoolers. We're gonna have a lot of fun, everybody. Epstein, Lowenberg, you can't come, you're not invited.
And so I just don't think anybody showed up to his birthday parties getting off a chain of events that would eventually lead Steven Spielberg to winning his first Oscar on Schindler's List. So
I live in a really interesting building. I'm a lot older, I think, than everybody here combined. And stuff has changed a little bit since I moved to LA. Like my upstairs neighbor, like they're like in their really early 20s, and like I guess they're trying to reinvent sex. But like I hear the bed springs all the time, and like the first thing I'm always like is like change up the pace, bro. You know, it's just like, come on, kid. Be a little. You know, it's just the same obnoxious sound. And then I'll hear like all these sort of weird things too. Like I'll hear her go harder, harder, harder. And like 3 minutes later, I'll hear him go harder, harder, harder. Good Lord, these two. He's like, yes, please do. And then every once in a while, I get like a text like, hey, do you mind giving my girlfriend eye contact while I fuck with her? I'm like, oh my god, you guys are lucky. I'm so fucking. And then they're like, yeah, do you mind spitting on us in the middle of it? I'm like, you guys are testing my patience. But, I mean, how awkward would it be not to? And then I have another neighbor. He lives across the way, and we're talking the other day. Good-looking younger guy, nice dude. And he was just like, we were just talking. He's like, hey, you know, I like three-ways. I was like, okay, like how fucking unoriginal. And he's like, no, but I like it with two dudes in the shit. And I was like, that is a left-hand turn, a right-hand conversation. All right. My best friend. He's been my best friend for 6 years, and we'll find like a random girl, and you know, we'll bring her back, and we'll do her. And I was like, so you're in a sexual relationship with your best friend? Like, no, bro, you don't get it. It's like, no, bro, I don't think you get it. Like, whether or not you're touching each other, you're in a beautiful, fucking forward-moving relationship that I'm actually almost jealous of. He's like, no, dude, it's not like that. I'm like, okay. And he's like, fine, don't join us. It's like, wait, am I the fucking pig in the spit roast? I'm good.
did you guys meet on an app or in actual human form? Human form. Fucking God bless you. You guys? App. Yeah, no, it's all good. Like that, it's the way we are in the world now. It's just kind of weird, like, because I feel like, especially app dating, you're kind of, it's like Amazon. You can kind of like pick and choose, like under $5, over 100, you know, Prime delivery, like all that stuff. And it's just, it's like kind of
takes the mystique away, it takes the fun away from actually getting to know somebody, you know? Like my grandparents, they met in the old country, and they had to escape during the war, and they weren't even Jewish, they were just paranoid. So like, when they got here, like my grandma went to Chicago, and my grandpa went to New York. And like all they remember is they only spent one day together in the old country. They had met in between classes. And they like completely fell in love. They had like one of those 10-hour days where they got to know each other and really just share everything and really connect. And when she got to Chicago, she would go by the Art Institute because she had told him during that the only place she ever cared about was the Art Institute of Chicago. Neither one of them spoke the language. He learned the language. He got himself to Chicago 2 years later. And he finally found himself on his first day walking past the Art Institute of Chicago. And she was walking past the Art Institute of Chicago because she did that every day for 2 years just in case he came. And they fell in love. They had an amazing life together. They have, I think it's like 15 grandkids, 22 great-grandkids, and it's just this beautiful story. And now, it's like, oh, how did your grandparents meet? Like, oh, on the toilet. Yeah, oh my God, I had Indian food the night before, and like, thank God, because I would not have met him and not swiped right. So like, I think we're missing out on Indian food. You guys true crime watchers?
Unsolved mysteries.
Awesome, D.B. Sweeney. Is it D.B. Sweeney, or is that the guy from the Julia Roberts movies? It's D.L. Hughley. No. Anyway, yeah, no, that was where the guy jumped out of the plane from Unsolved Mysteries.
D.B. Cooper.
D.B. Cooper. Yeah, D.B. Sweeney is the guy from My Best Friend's Wedding or something. But I love true crime. Have you ever heard the term execution style killing? Does that make any, like, what does it mean? It means that he had his hand behind and like, but if you get killed by a gun, isn't anybody who gets killed by a gun killed execution style? Like, does it matter the distance? Like, is there accidental style? Like, I've seen this before, Johnson. Well, it seems like this woman was carrying her dog, slipped on this cream pie, hit that, this gun came out of nowhere, shot him, and they're dead, let's go. Like, everything is execution style. You'd be, like, not guilty by reason of insanity? Shouldn't it be guilty by reason of insanity? Like, how is that, like, the one thing you can, like, sketch off on? Like, no. I was fucking nuts when I did it. Sorry. No. Okay, you're fine, but you still have to go to jail. Like, no. Not guilty. Let's lose the not. Sorry, that's my personal thing. That one just kills me. Like, I always feel like the first time you're gonna see the other person's genitals is like Christmas. It's like the only other Christmas kind of day or like a birthday present. But like one of the problems is like, every once in a while you get the sweater. You know, like sweater boobs or a sweater dick. Like, oh, and you can't make a sweater face. Like, oh no, it's, yeah. So no, I always, really, 110% wool. Great. But still fun, I'm just really bad at it. I have a friend who's like, oh, always have sex like it's the last time you're gonna have it. And last time I had it was fucking terrible. Yeah, but it's okay, I made up for it. To myself. All right, thank you guys very much.